Hey, how's it going? George Anderson here today with a few words on the subject of anchoring. Nothing at all to do with boats, but everything to do with how you feel in a moment-by-moment basis. Anchoring is something I learned in NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, training a few years ago. I studied the Practitioner Award, which is sort of not quite entry level. The entry level, you do a diploma first of all, and then you go on to practitioner, and then the real mind ninjas go off and do master practitioner, and I'm sure there's levels beyond that as well. And you know, I this is a few years ago now, and I've used various elements of it, but I haven't done everything that I learned on that qualification. But one thing I have done an awful lot of with clients and with myself is this whole thing about anchoring. And I want to share a little bit about that with you today. Anchoring, a really common use for anchoring is to improve confidence in the moment. So confidence is something that it's kind of a bit of an abstract concept, really. You know, what is confidence? But it's a feeling that we have, and it'll feel different for each of us. And we've all probably been in situations where we've felt confident. And wouldn't it be amazing to have that sensation of confidence in other situations, perhaps where you do feel a little bit more nervous, a bit more anxious, a bit more fearful about what might happen. And that's really all anchoring does. It brings a feeling, a state from a past experience, something you have experienced before in a different situation, and it brings it into the present moment. And anchors can be, they can be visual, seeing something, looking at something. They could be auditory, so you're saying something to yourself, or they're commonly what are called kinesthetic anchors, so a physical thing, a movement, or either squeezing your finger with a thumb. That's a classic one. That's a common one that I do with clients and myself. Some people will pinch their earlobe, and I'm going to share one of those anchors that I have. That I actually used last night. It's something I use really regularly anytime I'm about to present, for that matter. So I do a lot of speaking, and in fact, last night I was at Toastmasters, my local Toastmasters club, and I was about to go up and give a talk. It was one of these moment notice, right, George, come and tell us about whatever. And then you've got to think about on your feet, get to the stage, and then you've got to present for 1 to 2 minutes. So it kind of strikes the fear of God into a lot of people. But it makes me feel nervous and apprehensive just thinking about it now. But actually in the moment, just as I'm preparing myself in those few seconds, I can get myself into that state of calm and confidence by doing a couple of really simple things. And this isn't to say that what I'm going to show you now is going to work for you, but I want to use this as a demonstration of what anchoring can look like, and for me, what it can feel like. So my name's called, or in a normal situation, I'll know that I'm about to go up and present, and all I do is I sit up nice and straight, and I have my hands on my knees. Now, most of us, when we're sitting, we'll cross our ankles or perhaps cross our hands, maybe sit back, maybe make ourselves a little smaller, move around a little bit. And I know that all of those things, body language and all that, we're making ourselves smaller and diminishing ourselves. So first thing I do is just to sit myself upright with my hands open, and that immediately sends the signal to my body and my mind saying, okay, you got this, you're confident. And actually having the hands on the knees, physically on the knees, is part of the kinesthetic, the feel part of this anchor. The next thing I do is I take a really nice deep breath. Now, I don't do it as obviously as that. People don't look at me thinking, is that guy breathing really deeply? So I just take a nice deep breath in and out a couple of times perhaps. And by doing that, that's a part of my anchor, but also brings me out of this, what would normally be my sympathetic nervous system, where it's that fight, flight, high adrenaline, lots of cortisol, the stress hormones, shallow breathing, and it shifts me over into the parasympathetic system, which is rest, digest, relax, chilled out, keep it nice and calm. So actually the breath does two things. It is a part of my anchor for confidence and relaxation in that moment, but it's also a part of shifting me into the right part of my nervous system. And the third thing I do is to just say the words to myself, you're ready. And that's it. Sometimes I say, you got this as well. That's a classic. I use that quite regularly. And I know a lot of people will use that as well. It's an anchor of sorts for many of us. But actually the words I use are, I'm ready. And as soon as I've said that and I'm sitting here, I don't say it out loud again, that'd be weird. I'm ready. I'm ready. That might cause a few people to look at me and think, yeah, that's a bit of a strange prep in a small room like this. But anyway, so I sit there, hands on knees, a nice kind of subtle and calm deep breath. I say the words myself, okay, I'm ready. And I go up and I deliver. And it's incredible how effective that really simple process takes. About 10 seconds, if that, to do that. As long as it takes me to take a breath in and out, a couple of breaths, and to say the words, I'm ready. And the difference it makes to my physiology, the difference it makes to my psychology, how I'm feeling, and ultimately how I can then perform, how relaxed I am on the stage. No matter what the audience size, no matter what the platform, no matter what the pressures and the consequences of a good or a bad performance are, that simple technique is the thing that I use more often than not to get me into the right state. Anchoring is incredibly powerful. If you ever get the opportunity to work with a coach or somebody who can help you anchor, or you have a look at it on Google, see if there's plenty of articles that tell you a little bit more about it. But it's well worth finding something that you can use yourself, whether it's to improve confidence as you're about to give a talk, or maybe you want to be really relaxed, or you want to be really present and in the moment. Whatever the resource is that you would benefit from, anchoring has the power to give you that resource in any situation. I hope you found that interesting, useful today, and all about anchoring. If you've got any comments or questions, please do post them below. I'm George Anderson, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.